Hello everyone. In today's class we'll study census enumeration and sample survey. So census enumeration and sample survey. So now uh, information regarding an enquiry can be collected in two ways. Okay, when we are doing an enquiry, when we are collecting the information, it can be collected in two ways. So they are census enumeration and sample survey. Okay, so now let us see the definition of census enumeration. What do you mean by census enumeration? Okay, a complete enumeration of each and every unit of the population is called census enumeration. So here we are collecting the data of each and every items of the universe. Okay, each and every item of the population we are collecting the data. So here a complete enumeration is done. A complete data is collected of each and every item. Okay, so for example, we can see population census of India, which will be conducted once in every 10 years, is a census enumeration. So in India, census is conducted once in every 10 years. Okay. So here we are collecting the data. We are in census. We are collecting the data of each and every person. Like the government employees, they will go to each and every house and they will collect the data. Like how many people are there in the house, how many children are there in the house, and what is your age, your date of birth, your address, your occupation. Okay, so all the informations are collected. It means a complete enumeration, a complete detailed information is been collected here. So, what is census enumeration? Census enumeration means a complete enumeration of each and every unit of the population is called as census enumeration. So now we have some merits and demerits here for census enumeration. The first merit is the results are more accurate and reliable. Yes, here the results are more accurate. Since we are collecting all the informations in detail, we will get the accurate value. Accurate means we will get the correct value. Okay. Therefore, the results are more accurate and reliable. And the second one is the data are collected from each and every unit of the population. Yes, we are collecting the information or the data from each and every person or each and every item of the population. We are collecting the information. And it provides a detailed study of all the units of the population. Yes, here we will study each and every items in detail. Okay, and the fourth one is census method is free from sampling errors. Now what is this sampling errors? Now while collecting data, sometimes there will be some mistake, like we may collect wrong information knowingly or unknowingly. We may collect some wrong informations. So if there is any mistake while collecting the information of the sample, the mistake is called an error. Okay, so that kind of error is called as sampling errors. And census method is free from the sampling errors because in census method we are collecting information of each and every item, that is in detail. Therefore, census method is free from all the sampling errors. And we can see some demerits here. That is first one, non-sampling errors are likely to be more in census enumeration. So here non-sampling errors means, see, when this in census method, when the government teachers or the government employees, when they go and collect the information, so while recording the information, they may do some mistakes. Okay, for example, when they are entering your age, so your actual age is 79, so they may wrongly enter it as 57. Okay, so there will be some clerical mistake while recording the data or while entering the data. So these kind of clerical mistakes is called non-sampling errors. Okay, so non-sampling errors are likely to be more in census enumeration. And second one, it requires more money, labor and time. Okay, why it requires more money, labor, and time? Because the investigator, he have to go to each and every house, he should go to each and every place and collect the data, so it requires a lot of money to travel, and it requires labor, it requires a lot of time. Okay, and it is not possible in some circumstances where the universe is vast. It means where the universe is big. If the population is large, then in such cases we cannot use census enumeration method, because we have to go to each and every person and collect the data. It takes lot of time, and if the uh, population is very large, then this method is impossible. Fourth one, while procuring the data, if the units are damaged, then census enumeration is not suitable. Okay, so now you have collected the data. So after collecting the data, uh, you have to give this data to the investigator. You have to supply this data to the investigator. So before supplying, if any data is missed, okay, if any data is misplaced, or if the units are damaged, then census enumeration is not suitable in that case. In census enumeration, there is a chance that you may misplace the data. Okay, so next we'll go to sample survey. So before that, what do you mean by sample? See, sample is the representative units of a population. Okay, so consider that we have a population of 100 students. Okay, so from these 100 students, if I am randomly picking 4 students, so these 4 students are the samples. Okay, so sample is the part of the population, it is a representative part of the population. And what do you mean by sample survey? Sample survey is an enumeration based on sample. Now, whatever sample we have picked, so for that sample, if we are collecting the information of that sample, then it is called as sample survey. An enumeration based on the sample is called as sample survey. So here we can see some merits and demerits. First one is this method requires less labor, less time, and is economical. So why this method requires less time? Because in sample we have only few units, we have only few items. So for collecting the information of the sample we need less time compared to population, and even we need less labor because there are only few units in samples, and it is very cheap also, it is very economical. Okay, then the second one is sample survey is more scientific. Okay, why it is more scientific? Because see, if we want to collect the information of the whole population, it is very difficult. It is almost impossible to collect all the information of the population, right? So if we consider sample, if you take only few units from the population, that is sample, then we can collect the information of the sample. So sample survey is more scientific, and this method is applied for those units which are destructive in nature. So whenever we cannot whenever it is impossible to collect the information of the population, and in that case we can use this method, that is sample survey method. So since in sample survey there are only few units, it is possible to collect all the informations in detail, whereas if you consider the population, it is quite difficult to collect all the informations in detail. So this method is applied for those units where which are destructive in nature, that is sample survey. Okay, and sample survey is free from non-sampling errors. So here non-sampling errors are does not exist. Okay, and we can see some demerits. First one is sample survey requires adoption of appropriate sampling method and appropriate method of analysis. So, after doing the sample survey, we have to adopt appropriate sampling methods. We have to apply the appropriate statistical tools and statistical techniques for doing the analysis. Okay. Then the second one is, if the population is too heterogeneous in nature, the use of sampling procedure is impossible. Yes, if the population is heterogeneous, heterogeneous means different. If the population is different in nature, if we have the different terms, different items in the population, then use of sampling procedure is impossible. It will be difficult, it will be almost impossible to use the sampling procedure. So the population must be homogeneous, the population must be same, so that we can use sampling procedure. And third one is, sampling errors are part and parcel of sample survey. So when we are doing sample survey, there will be some errors. Okay, because actually we had to do the survey of whole population. But since it is not possible to do the survey of whole population, we are randomly picking few samples from that population and we are doing survey for those samples. So at that time there occur some errors, because we had to do the survey of the whole population, but we are doing survey for the sample population. So there occurs some errors which is called as sampling errors, and it is a part of the sample survey. Okay, it is a part and it goes throughout the sample survey procedure. So here you can see some difference between census enumeration and sample survey. First one is, under census enumeration, enumeration of each and every unit of the population is called census enumeration. So this is the definition of census enumeration, and sample survey is defined as enumeration of few representative units of the population. And the second one is, non-sampling errors are likely to be more in census enumeration. Okay, we have already gone through it, and under sample survey we have the difference, that is sampling errors are more. And the third point is, this method is non-scientific in census enumeration, and under sample survey this method is more scientific. And the fourth one is, in sample survey it is impossible if the population is infinite, and sample survey method is in this method it is more suitable if the population is infinite. And under census enumeration, this method requires more money, time and labor, whereas in sample survey it is economical. And under census enumeration, in destructive cases this method cannot be used, and under sample survey, in destructive cases this method is only method which can be used. Okay, so these are the difference between census enumeration and sample survey. So thank you for watching.